Welcome to the Communicator. My name is Jeff Hosteller, and always with me is Mr. Chris Hartley.
Trusty sidekick.
Today we're going to talk about analog and IP cameras, big for surveillance within residential or business security. And Chris, I know that's one of the big things a lot of people have a tendency to overlook as far as cameras are concerned. They pay attention to how they're going to be getting their recordings, but when it comes to actually seeing what has been recorded, they're most of the time disappointed because of the resolution.
That's true. That's true. The big difference in IP cameras versus analog is the ability for resolution. Analogs work off something called TVL. It's TV lines, and it's how many lines is actually on screen for when it records the image. They can range from 420 up to 700 TVL. For a benchmark, 600 TVL equals 720 by 575 image. IP, on the other hand, goes a lot higher, especially megapixel cameras. On the low end, you're going to get about a 1.3 megapixel, be about your lowest benchmark that you're going to work with, and it's still a ton bigger than the best quality you're going to get out of analog. If you go on up to a 3 megapixel camera, the resolution then changes to 2048 by 1536. You can see how much bigger quality image that is to work with. If you round up to 5 megapixel, then it gets a huge, and you're talking over 2500 and 1900 pixels. So that's important for if you want to zoom in, if you need detailed information, if you need a quality image for evidence retrieval, IP camera is really the way to go.
Well, I know that with a lot of people that are in some retail establishments, when they see cameras with DVRs, a package deal, it looks great when it's in the store, but we won't go into detail of where you might find it. But what kind of resolution is that, just to kind of give people an idea of those kinds of things?
Yeah, usually those are probably the 420 range. You're talking about the 420 TVLs. That's what you're getting with those if you buy that package, and that's why people are disappointed because they get that, they think they're going to be able to read a license plate or something like that, and it's just not possible because the image quality isn't that good. But there is a use for those cameras because, like ATM cameras, a lot of them are that resolution because the shot is taken within 3 feet. It's fine for that. So if you're using a very short range, you know you're going to get your image in that may be perfectly suitable for what you're doing with it. But always remember, you can go down in resolution from an image, but you can't go up. So if you take a bad image, you just can't work with that.
So in hallways or outside, that really fits, especially if you're trying to get image for vehicles, for facial features for people. Of course, when you get into the higher megapixels, when you want things like reading license plates or what have you.
Absolutely.
Inside, they can go a little less on the resolution because how close it actually is. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the big thing there is that when you're looking into some cameras, check the higher resolution for maybe outdoors or things you've got to get long shots for, or smaller, less resolution for hallways, that type of thing. That's where you might be able to save some money. Are there any other advantages that come with?
Well, one advantage is that in IP world you don't have to worry about compression because it's already IP based, so it's going to keep it and store it at however setting that you've already got it. And analog has to, if you're using an IP DVR, which everybody's kind of transitioning to, the analog camera has to use compression to get it there and then decompress it to restore it. So you're going to have a little bit of problem there. Just if you're mixing your network, you just keep that in mind if you're using IP and analog in the same network. It's cleaner to go IP all the way or analog all the way, depending on what your solution is.
Would you say that it actually would be advantageous for somebody to consult with a security company about how they would lay out cameras, that type of thing?
Oh, absolutely, because another very important facet is the lenses. Because you've got to make sure, if you're going to cover a specific area, what lens do you have? Do you have a wide-angle lens? Do you have a short lens for what you need to do? The same camera may be perfectly suitable for 2 applications, but with a different lens. So you can check your camera placement. If you're mounting one up on the side of the building, how clear is your image of where you want to shoot, and how wide is that area, and the lens will make all the difference. And most professionals they have a system that they can figure out what that needs to be.
Well, one of the things that we're actually going to do is place it into this segment right here is a couple of pictures based upon the resolution. So that's one thing that hopefully people have a chance to take a look at. But a lot of people, they fall into the trap that they don't realize how bad the picture actually is until they go back to retrieve that information. Mm-hmm. So the main thing is to consult with someone that actually has different style of cameras. You can see the output and you'll have the ability to make an informed decision regarding that. And then you'll be able to weigh costs depending upon the increase in the resolution. That's really the big thing. So they're not doing anymore. You don't see a lot of black and white anymore. That was one of the big things that you would have, stationary black and white. Those used to be the cheap ones. But now, what are they going to? Are they just pretty much color, and then it's a matter of stationary, handheld zoom, whatever it may be?
Yeah, normally you get that. You'll do stationary is probably the predominant camera used. You will get black and white when if you've got infrared or night vision cameras, you'll get that in black and white. But with today's technology, it converts the image is black and white, but the quality is like you're looking at daylight, and so that's just how it does its conversion. But the quality is really good.
All right, Chris. Was there anything else that you want to mention regarding cameras?
One last thing, the other benefit is power allocation, because with analog you have to make sure you get power to the camera along with the data channel cabling. So with IP you can power it from the nearest hub within 300 feet of it, so when you pull your data connection to it, you can power the camera also.
All right. Well, certainly you want to do your homework, talk with a security company that specializes in cameras, and then have an opportunity to get informed decisions, so when you're placing out your cameras, you get the right resolution for the right place. So, Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.